Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have 6 minutes to give you 2 decades of selling experience around the world, which is a near impossibility. I have great stories to tell you, but I can't tell you them all, so I'm going to give you a few nuggets. So I've got 4 slides to go through. And it is difficult because what I want to share with you is lots of my experiences of how to go to market. In the companies I've been involved in, we've probably sold directly and indirectly software products into over between 50 and 60 countries worldwide. I've been directly involved in selling those products and leading from the front. And the Icehouse on a regular basis has asked me to come and speak to many of the entrepreneurs or the innovators about getting your white shoes on and going out and selling your product. And I think this is the key. Some of the speakers mentioned it earlier about, well, you can have an innovative product, but you've got to be able to sell it. And it is fundamentally important about understanding your market. Is your product innovative enough to meet the market? Is the market appetite there? Do you have the right pricing? Do you have the right feature set? What's your competition like, etc.? And so what I just, first up, quickly, this slide here is a good example. The gentleman on my right-hand side is the CEO of the largest telecom mobile network in the world, China Unicom. And I was on a trade mission recently to China and met the gentleman, and a couple of the Kiwis were with me, said, hey, how did the meeting go? And I said, it went fine. They said, oh, were you going to sell lots to him? I said, I won't sell him anything, not one product. The thing is understanding that I can't sell to him, I have to sell to someone else who's selling to him. And in the China market, I can't actually sell anyway because local Chinese markets get the first dibs on any deals in software. So you've got to really understand your market. Now look, what I've put up there at the top is what I think about, and I think about every day is my target. Who is my target customer? I've got to understand them. I spend more time about this than anything else. And this slide shows you there's nothing on there about product, nothing on there about innovation. And so what we do is we look at who is the owner of this business? Is it a government? Is it a corporation? Is it an individual, private individual? And I zoom in on that, and then I find out who are the influencers, both external and internal. And then I look at who the suppliers are. So I've got the target in the middle, like a dartboard, and I go, who are the key suppliers? Is IBM supplying? Is Oracle supplying? And who are their partners? And can I get in alongside those guys, or are they going to influence everyone to prevent me getting into that account? And it's really focused. So I haven't even talked about product yet, focused completely on how to get inside the account and developing the relationships. In some deals, I'll have an agent representing a board level, and I'll have another agent representing the technical level, and we work like that. And they may not know that I have 2 agents involved in a particular transaction. And then understanding, most importantly, the procurement process. Understand that right up front. You've got to understand, do they go through an RFI, RFP tender process? And if you don't get that defined, you're not going to make it. You're just going to get knocked out. And what I try to do is get really involved in the procurement process and even influence it. Get right in there, even write the tender for the customer. Look at your competition. Are they going to beat you in regard to pricing? Are they going to beat you as far as their financing? Many of the Chinese firms have pricing and financing, and they get to the top of the list straight away. And then we get on planes. If you're not prepared to get on planes, you're not going to make money. And the hardest thing for me is I love New Zealand, but I spend more time away from it and the family. It's very, very hard. So you've got to get the capital on board, hire sales guys to do the work for you as well, and make sure they're experienced enough. Influence the outcome. What's the budget? Do they have budget? And a lot of the time you find out the budget if you ask for the order. And who's got the checkbook? Now, what the next slide I've got up here is about a big company that we compete with. We compete with them head on. They get at the top of the list. Biggest telecom company in China. What do? They walk in and say, I've got the best price and I've got financing, and everyone gets tossed out. So you've got to be even more innovative about your products and solutions to beat up on customers like that or competitors. Selling direct and indirect. Indirect, what I've done over the years, I've done over 10 OEMs, original equipment manufacturer. This is where I've created products and I aspire to get Ericsson's name on my product, or Philips, or NEC, or Nokia Siemens. I've done 10 of them, or actually more than 10 or 12. And what I do is I sell a product, get it into the market, then I get on a plane and I start talking to that channel and saying, hey, I've got a great product, and getting inside their sales ecosystems so their sales guys get commissions because they're selling a great product and they can sell their other products. OEMs is another channel to market. Be paranoid about your deals. Be really, really paranoid about whether you're going to win or not. How do I win? It is about winning. It's about winning. It's about margin. It's about appetite. And we tend to forget that. We spend our time innovating, and sure enough, my company is extremely innovative to be competitive, but then there's the game of winning. And lastly on the slide here, I've talked about innovation. I've talked about building relationships, but listen to the customer and to the market. We've had to change recently to change our whole packaging of my company to be software as a service, platform as a service. But it's the same products, but sold differently into a different procurement type model. So you've got to think, smell the market, be involved in it, go to the market. I'm very active in the Middle East and Africa in particular, and Asia, because it's moving. It's leapfrogging in technology. It's jumping from 3G to 4G. And now we're getting basically convergence between the internet and mobility, and they're deploying new technology, and the sales cycle's low. So what I do is I look for a quick, short sales cycle to get my reference sites in. I get my reference sites in, then I work back into the more developed markets, and then I go after OEMs, and then we accelerate up. Then look for capital to then put into the sales infrastructure. Important to get runs on the board, because the runs on the board tell you about your product and whether you're innovative or not, or whether you're going to be competitive. And guys, there's no prize for being second at all. Think about it. Get paranoid. Go out and win.